I'm talking about something even more important. I'm talking about people wanting to use it. There's no way you're going to remember hundreds, if not thousands, of former or potential customers unless you have a tracking system for that. We thrive on companies that are on a mission, that want to succeed and want to do the work to be able to automate their success.
All right, and we are live here with David from JobProgress talking about JB's Tough Takes 2. How you doing, David?
Very good this morning. Hi, Patrick. How are you today?
I'm doing very well, man. I'm excited about this one. I had a chance to read over the second piece here, the second installment of JB's Tough Takes, and I think this really applies to a lot of people. Jumping right into it, the CRM is really the core of growing your business. It's where you keep everything to keep you organized and scaling faster. My first question for you, David, is, and I've heard you talk about this before, a CRM in general, just getting a CRM in the first place is important for a business. Can you explain why, just in general, having this is so important?
Sure. I mean, I would like to say that even from the 1990s, if you're a contractor, you're in sales. If you're in contractor, you're in community development. If you're a contractor, you're in marketing. If you're a contractor, you're in the business of creating a reputation in the area you serve. There's no way you're going to remember hundreds, if not thousands, of former or potential customers unless you have a tracking system for that. Unless you can easily be able to identify, and some old school contractors may say, well, we like the more personal approach. Well, guess what? You really can have the personal approach and still be organized by using a CRM. It's a great tool that allows contractors to maintain a status of relationships and follow up in a way that is duplicable, especially when you're hiring and scaling and growing.
So what would you say to those contractors who maybe are only doing your 1 to 2 million, or they're just beginning in the process and they have the spreadsheets, they have a QuickBooks that is working? Is that something that's going to be suitable to grow, or do they need to switch right now? What is your opinion?
My opinion is to switch right now.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. I'm going to tell you why. You can go year after year after year and be successful without a CRM. It is true. You do not need a CRM to be successful. But I will tell you what you will not have, Patrick. You will have no understanding of your growth and or ability to build on it or the value of your business if you move outside of that business, meaning you'll always be a slave to that very successful business that you're growing. You don't want to be a slave to your business. You want your business to be a slave to you. And in order for that to be the truth, you need to have people to be able to plug into that business. And they can't plug into your awesomeness, but they can plug into a CRM where they could continue to build that relationship base that you have around your centers of influence, I would call them. Does that make sense?
It does make sense to me. And when I look at this, I think of, there's never going to be a better time to either start using a CRM or to switch a CRM that's not working for you. We see this a lot, I think, where individuals say, well, I know what I'm doing is not working, but next month will be a better time. January, February, the beginning of the year, it's never going to be a better time than right now, because business is only going to increase. The amount of time and effort you placed into something that is not working is only going to increase. Now is the time to get that done, which leads me to my final question before I really get into the real meat of this, which is, what do you need to do, the guidelines and questions you should be asking yourself to determine the best CRM for you? And that is this: a lot of people struggle with making the switch because they may feel it's too difficult or it's going to be too time consuming. I don't want to have to deal with all the stuff that's going to come with switching a CRM. Can you put their mind at ease that this is a process that can be walked through from A to Z by JobProgress to make this a simple, painless ordeal as much as possible?
Sure. I mean, I'd like to be able to do that, but I think it would be disingenuous, Patrick. I'm not here
Okay.
to tell people that life is easy. And if you want to have an amazing CRM, doesn't matter which one it is, it could be Job Progress or one of our competitors, that there's no work that can be done and that you just press a button, your business will run itself magically. That's not the way life works. I'm going to tell people that if they want to partner with a team that's behind them, that is dedicated to their success, then a company like Job Progress is somebody to give a look at, because we actually understand the pain associated with adopting any change in your life. And even if it's a CRM, it's going to be something where it's new. It's going to be something where there's process involved. It's going to be something where it's not familiar territory. And whenever you use those three things, I don't care how simple and beautiful your CRM is, it's going to feel strange because people aren't used to it. And so I wish I could answer your question and be like, oh, it's going to be roses and this and that, but it's no, it takes work. It takes effort. And our company, Job Progress, I am telling you this, we thrive on companies that are on a mission, that want to succeed and want to do the work to be able to automate their success. Now, I will say one thing. Once you do that work, oh man, it becomes easy. It becomes beautiful. You start to actually feel the teamwork. You feel the organization. You feel the less questions. You feel the dropping the ball. It doesn't happen as much. Can people still drop the ball? Of course they can. But I can guarantee you this, it's 10% of the dropping ball before CRM. And so let's wake up one morning, people, and say to ourselves, today's the day I want to do the work. Today's the day I want to change for the better. I'm not going to sit here and say there's no work to be done or it's easy, because it's not true.
That's why I love you, David. I mean, you're shooting
Yeah.
it straight. And I think that people appreciate that because that means the expectation meets the reality of the
And it's
situation.
a two-way street. You know that. It's a two-way street. We do our part and the contractor has to do their part. But if they sit there and think that it's going to magically transform their business without them understanding it or putting forth the effort, then they should wait until they're ready to maybe make that decision later on.
Well, I think that what you've done here is you put together 7 great guidelines for people to decide what
Yeah.
the best CRM is for them. So I'd like to go through them one by one. They actually got me thinking about a lot of things, not only about Job Progress, but about our company as well. The number one thing you say here is to outline your company's needs for that CRM. Can you dive into a little bit about what you mean there for somebody just joining us?
No, that makes sense. So I'm looking at my notes as well while you're bringing up these 7 wonderful things to think about before choosing a CRM. You know, it's really basic. The first one is this: know what you want before you start looking for it, and know who you are. So I'll give you an example. I've got contractors that use Job Progress for oversight. I've got Job Progress that use contractors that use Job Progress mainly for communications and for company teamwork. I have other ones that use it for homeowner engagement and sales enablement. I have other contractors that use it for all three. I have other contractors that want the financials and the profitability and the reporting. What I'm saying to you is get a good sense, and you don't have and choosing the right CRM is like a meal at an a la carte menu restaurant. You don't have to gorge yourself with everything at once. You can go and pick what you want, and you can phase it out. And so do yourself a favor so that you don't feel overwhelmed. Understand a little bit about, hey, what do I want to get out of this thing? That's what was the point for number one. That'll help you find harmony between what you want and what you're looking for. And it gives us an understanding of how we can better serve you. So I really think number one is awesome.
I do too. One of the thoughts I had on this, you mentioned know who you are. The only way you're going to know that is when you talk to all departments. One of the
Yes.
mistakes I've seen people make when it comes to making a choice like this is an owner will go to an executive team, they will go to a sales team, or they'll go to one project manager. They don't talk to the entirety of the team to figure out what the team needs so that if you're on that a la carte program, you can pick the right things that you need for your entire team, not just sales, not just operations, not just the back of the office you deal with every day, but truly get a picture from your entire team about what you need.
So let's go. One that I couldn't agree more from what you said, but there is one level deeper. In each of those business units in the team, there are personalities. There's usually 4 or 5 salesmen in the sales team. There's usually 3 or 4 people in accounting. There's usually 2 or 3 people in operations and production. There might be 4 or 5 people in marketing and project management. Try to understand also their inclination to accepting or rejecting whatever product you're looking at, because that will help us treat that person differently as well as we try to groom them. We're not trying to groom people so that they pay us. We're trying to groom people so that they're successful and so that they don't feel like they are paying us, that they feel like they're actually making money off of us. That's how, when I get happy. When I see a company call us back and say, you're undercharging for JobProgress, it's amazing. That's when I know I've got a business that's going to last till 2030. If I'm charging $50 a month a user, and they're saying, geez, that $50, what am I getting for that? That's not the kind of customer that I want. And that means that I'm not doing my job. I need to be giving them $500 a month minimum per user in value in order to ask you for 50. That's the way I go to work in the morning. I want to give in order to get, not to take. And so, that's a good point you give there, that the business units need to be evaluated. But my only further point was that the individuals themselves also have something that you need to look into.
Which I believe leads to point number 2 here that I was looking at, which is, if you're going to talk to those individuals, the 3 and 4 in accounting, your 5, 6 sales reps, all of your production team, make sure that you're making a list here of options to evaluate from each of those individuals, because that person in accounting is going to have something that's number 1 to them. That is going to be much different than your top sales rep or your executive team or whoever it might be. Everyone's going to have something they need. Making a list of those things to evaluate is going to be key to where everybody's needs in that company are met.
I mean, gee, what do you want me to say on that when you just said it all? I mean, that's exactly.
I love this one because it was like the apples to apples. How do you compare something when you don't even know what you're evaluating?
Yeah, the list of options, and at that point, I'll say this. I mean, when we created what you're looking at, which is that paper that we wrote, I couldn't give the chart at the bottom of that paper. It's the evaluation chart. I couldn't do that, Patrick, without mentally going through number 2 first. I had to understand the options of my competitors. I had to understand not only the options of my competitors, but I had to understand what my contractor needs were. And they range. Oh my God, you got to understand that there's different size companies. There's different types of companies. There's one call close companies. There's, leave the estimate in the mailbox companies. We have no communication at all types of companies. We just do everything by email kind of companies. There's so many different business models that work. You don't have to do contracting one way. JobProgress was created so you do contracting your way. Our job is to accentuate your qualities, not for you to bend to us. And so if you give me the options that kind of make you go, ooh, like, wow, I'd like to do that. I want to know profitability on each job. I want to know this. I want to be able to one click create a proposal and send it to an email and have the homeowner open it through their own homeowner channel, like a viewer. Like, those are the types of cool little things that I could say, I know that they're going to get a return on their investment if they start using this. So options is key.
What about number 3 here? Is it possible to use a CRM before you actually purchase it? Is that something that's offered by JobProgress?
When throughout the years of developing our platform, the platform was too new to be able to do that. We didn't want a lot of tire kickers. But last year or early this year, we decided to create a version access to JobProgress, which is identical to our, regular JobProgress, that does allow for no credit card and no risk 30-day trial. It's not a fake account. It's a actual, and then if you love it, which we are getting conversions on that, Patrick, like crazy. That is probably the best marketing tool that we have now. And it's only 6 months old. We are converting on that. Like out of 10, we'll convert 6 or 7 and people who sign up. And so we give it away for free so that they don't feel that they're being hassled and like, oh, buy this now or whatever the case may be. I'm not into that. I don't tell my salesman to do that. I don't like it. If you think it's right for you, guess what? Do the work and start using it. Use us up to the max amount and let's get it going. And after 3 weeks, tell me that you'll ever go backwards, and you'll tell me to my face the answer is no. You give me 3 weeks with JP, you're never going to want to go backwards. I could stake money on that. That is true. You're not going to want to go back to a day or an age where you don't know what's going on in your company. People get giddy. They get giddy when they start to understand I could be in control instead of just sort of like living. So what happens is awesome people who have a lot of energy, they just throw their energy out, and that sort of creates the world around them. What I'm saying is, let's create a structure where everybody can push their energy into the structure of the organization, as opposed to individuals relying on people. I want to rely on JobProgress as the structure. So that's what I'm saying.
And I love what you did do. I mean, it is actually true. You don't need a credit card. I've gone over there. I've taken a look at it. I've signed up for it. It is true. You don't actually, you're really giving people an opportunity to not just get their feet wet and dip their toes in, but really get an idea of how this product could work in their company without the obligation of, hundreds or thousands of dollars weighing over their head. It's incredible.
Yeah, by the way, that's companycrm.com.
Companycrm.com. I'll put it across the bottom right there.
No worries.
So let's talk about number 4 here, which I think is just so key. I've got a lot of notes here. The reputation of the company that you're using. Inevitably, David, what happens is that people ask around to a few friends. One person says, I use this. They say, okay. But are they truly evaluating the reputation of that company and how important that truly is? So reputation is key, but you have to, as a consumer, I would caution you to look at several sources and not just one or two. Let me give you an example. Sometimes I personally read the testimonials, good and bad, of my competitors. I want to see how they're doing as a company. And sometimes when I read testimonials, because I've been in the business for years now, I become empathetic to the companies themselves, because not every testimonial is like, so for example, if somebody says the system is slow, well, they were frustrated at one point. The system might have been slow for them one day, and they write that down, but they don't realize that the company has invested nearly $1 million in just the speed of the software in itself. Like they don't realize that if you're looking at a testimonial from 2019 and it's 2021, it's like looking at a child who's 16 versus an adult at 22 and saying, oh, they're a different basketball player than they were, when they were 15 or 16. Yeah, of course, because they've been training for 5 years. So these companies, including JobProgress, I mean, we have a 4.5 rating. We have a great rating. We really do a good job to customer service. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of great reviews. But I'm saying, don't just go digital. Ask the company, hey, give me 3 customers. I want to call them up. Give me 2 that you think are happy and 1 you think that's not happy. Don't ask them just for the happy. Say, give me 2 that are happy and 1 that's unhappy. And then ask them to give them a call. And if that's a good company, they will say yes to that. If they're not afraid, I'm not afraid of people testing my CRM or my platform or saying, give me somebody who's using it to let them tell me it's awesome. I mean, that just gives me a little bit of happiness just thinking about it, because I know what they're going to say, and they're going to say it's awesome, right?
And
That's
so,
great.
yeah.
Well, I want to talk about this because this next one, number 5, is a little bit of a dark horse in the CRM industry because I see a lot of times where a company will throw out a price, and I've actually gone to some of these companies, and then the final price after you get the things that you want is much different than the initial price you thought you were going to receive. And when you're talking about a business where you may be charged per user, that could add up very quickly. So I really want you to talk about the cost of each option and make sure that you're really comparing the right product against another right product out there because it
Yeah.
can seem confusing.
Well, it can seem confusing because they try to confuse you on purpose, Patrick. So it
I've
can
fallen a victim
seem
to it.
it can seem confusing because the dirty little secret is that most of the companies that are more established in job progress, they're charging you for a lot of different things that are outside the scope of that, $50 per month or that, whatever, 79 or whatever the competitors charge. Um, I don't like it. With job progress, we typically, our motto is we charge you for what costs us money. And so like if you're building templates and I have a team of 4 people that's all they do is build templates, I charge you. I charge you per page to build extra templates. Do we give you free ones? Yes. Do we give you templates? Yes. But if you have custom templates with custom legalese from the state of California or the state of Florida that requires certain font and this and that and whatever the case may be, we could do it for you, but I get charged, so I'm going to charge you. So that's fair. I also charge for data mining, not data mining, but data transfer to the point that you can't do it yourself, meaning we'll help you do it yourself. But if you want us to do the heavy lifting and take all your .csvs that you have and organize it and maybe switch columns or remap data points, I also have one person that does that all day long. And so, other than that, I can tell you what my competition does. They'll charge for things like digital signatures, reports.
100%.
They'll charge for, try to get them to do an on-site training and see how much it's going to cost. We do it at cost. I'll do an on-site training. You're going to pay me for my hotel, my car, and my hotel, but it's not another $3,000 on top of that. You know what I mean? And so, I don't know. Listen, everybody deserves to make a profit, but what I don't like to do is fool people into a low price, and I'm not going to name names, but they're on my list. There are 2 or 3 companies that they advertise one price and they charge you a different one, and to me that's disingenuous. It's like me lying to you right up front in the relationship. It doesn't make sense. I don't want to do it. $50 should mean $50. That's that. It shouldn't mean $50 and another 35 per user for all the shit that they're buying otherwise.
It seems like what I see a lot of is like dating. You start dating, someone puts their best foot forward, and then unfortunately you start then to peel back a few layers. Like, hold on now, this isn't the initial thing that I signed up for right here. And you don't want that feeling when you're working within your company, that kind of side where you almost kind of feel like you're getting blindsided each time.
The dirty little secret is this: you order it in an Eagle View, you're getting a Green Sky application, you're doing this, all these integrations. The dirty little secret is people are making money off of those big time. And in fact, they're outweighing the subscriber fees that they're making. But the thing is that if you take a laundry list of services, like for example, you order an Eagle View through JP, you get it, you pay Eagle View, and you just get it in JP. We don't make a penny off of that. But I can tell you 2 out of the 5 companies on my list make $1 every time you do it. And you do that times several thousand a day and see what happens with that. And so,
it's fun, David. I got a podcast coming out today with Eagle View talking about you. And one of the things they mentioned was just their innovations and, them flying their planes both now in wintertime and summertime, getting better imagery. All that stuff that they're doing that JobProgress could be upcharging people like crazy for, because most of them wouldn't know the difference.
They don't know.
You don't do it because it's the right thing to do.
That is correct. And we believe to empower the contractor. Listen, if I could get the contractor to be successful, I don't have to worry about selling them anything. We just become part of their business. That's the key.
That's where it's at.
That's what I want, at least. And it's a long journey. We're probably halfway there, when it comes down to it, Patrick. I mean, we're still learning every day. We're still improving every day. But our intention and our purpose, and when I speak, you've spoken to my employees. We all kind of have the same mantra. It's not like this is just the owner speaking. I run a team of people who give a shit, who care.
They truly do.
Yeah,
they're good people.
They are good people.
Once somebody makes a decision, though, one of the things they need to consider is, how is this thing going to be implemented? I mentioned it towards the beginning of this, and we talked about it as far as, sometimes there can be some work that needs to be done, but how this company is going to implement your product, how they're going to bring it out to your team, what it's going to look like as the transition happens. These are things that people need to be thinking of, not just, okay, I like this one, I'm going to go with it.
That is something they should be thinking of, but I can tell you this, in that department, they can rely on us, Patrick. We've seen thousands of companies adopt JP. It's our job to tell them what best practices are. So I'll leave that on my shoulders, meaning when it comes to implementation, it's your business, but we'll have some best practices easily that we'll be able to identify for you. And I can tell you this, we've had large companies, it's like a cake. They just adopt JP in like 2 or 3 days. It's amazing. We have small companies that adopt JP in less than an hour because they have people who understand the idea of it. We have other companies where it takes months. And so it really runs the gamut, and we have to be respectful of the contractors and try to serve them the best way we can without, what do you call that when you you judge? We don't want to judge people. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that leads me to what I'm happy the number 7 is where it is, because I know this is an area that I care about, and it's one that you all do very well, and that's the customer service after the sale. Yeah. Nobody likes to feel like they're a number or they got the wool pulled over their eyes, and everyone has had it happen at some point in the sales in their life. They get somebody to sell something to them, and then they're gone. Then it's, okay, I've got your money, I've got you locked into a contract. That is not how JobProgress operates. Where does that come from you?
It comes from my inner desire not to be a person who is looked at as somebody who isn't providing value. I always like to contribute. And in order for me to contribute, I have to contribute to my contractors financially. I have to give them more money than they give me in services. I have to contribute to them emotionally. I have to understand their fears by listening to them and offer them solutions that will help them, guide them. So as I'm doing this, people call it customer service. I just consider it, being a good person, and doing the right things that would allow people to engage in what you're delivering to them without feeling that they've been left in the dark. I mean, there's nothing worse than a contractor who's not satisfied with what you're selling them, because their business depends on it.
So true.
Their business depends on it. It's a mission critical thing that I'm selling. And so, do we drop the ball at times? Yes. Do I apologize for it? Yes. I get on my employees and tell them we have to be better, be stronger, be faster, be quicker, be more humble, be nicer, be more responsive. I also look at other companies. Like I bought a watch recently from a company, and they gave me a hand-delivered note from the founder.
Wow.
And I'm like, do I give hand-delivered notes? And the answer is no. Could I give hand-delivered notes? The answer is yes. And so those are the types of things that make me go, I want to be a better person, and I want to run a better company. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
I completely understand that. Sometimes you just got to look at somebody, take something from someone else, the best practice, and try to implement it. And
there you go.
If somebody is looking at this and they're able to define the apples against the apples, they've looked at the customer service, they've looked at the options, the price. I have no doubt that when they do those things, they're going to move forward with the job progress, especially if they take advantage of giving this thing a try and seeing everything that it has to offer.
Absolutely.
How did they start that process, though, David? What does it look like to start a process of working with Job Progress?
So it's fairly simple. I mean, typically it'll start with an incoming call to JP. We don't really have any outbound marketing, but we do have a lot of inbound responses. So if you email us, if you call us, go to the website and fill out a form, you'll get a call from one of my sales staff, and they'll typically set up a demo.
Well,
They'll give you access to your company CRM account if you wanted that free trial. You'll be assigned a contractor success manager at some point, which is amazing. So not only do you get full support from my support team, but each account gets their own designated account manager. This is nice because you have a contact person that's your point person, right? We're hiring in that department, by the way, because we are growing. 2021 was the best year ever for JP in terms of our growth. So
that's great.
Yeah, thank you. And then you have onboarding training. We have an amazing YouTube channel. We have a checklist of things you need to do in order to get going. And then what we try to do is give you homework. We say, put 20 leads in, run 20 appointments through JP, take pictures and notes, develop a proposal and send it to your homeowner. Get them to say yes. If within a week or two you go through that process, the lights start just going bing, 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 bing. Like you never want to go backwards when you start to put the pieces of the puzzle together. And that's when we get happy customers. That's when people say, "Oh, I like JP. I like Job Progress."
That's great.
So that's what makes us happy.
And that's the reason you guys are growing like you are.
I think so. Another reason is, COVID. COVID helped because people don't want to engage much in the house, and it's more like a digital relationship now. And we completely enable remote sales enablement. And our mobile app, you have to understand a lot of people who do the work who are out in the road, they're Spanish speaking. They're, a lot of the people that are out in the field, they need something simple and powerful. And if you see Job Progress's mobile app compared to any of our competitors, it wins hands down. There's a single competitor that has a better mobile app than JP. I can guarantee that, like across the board. Don't ask me, ask the internet. They'll tell you. Our mobile app is really a badass app. It's a badass app.
It was one of my final two questions, just so you know. I was going to say, we got to talk about the app because it's something that is overlooked. People think about the CRM, they fall in love with the desktop version, not realizing that operations in the field is often going to be using the app. You've got to make sure the app works. And I've been out there in the rural country in central Florida with one of your customers. And it was the first question I asked, which is, when you're out here, does it actually work? Or is this something where it loads and takes time like some of these apps do?
Did they do it in front of you?
It works.
Yeah. It not only works.
You got to really look at that.
Most of the apps work, Patrick. It's not really a matter of, no one's going to put an app on the market that doesn't work. What I'm talking about, and if it doesn't work, sometimes there's situations where it's spotty. That's not, most of the companies invest in that. I'm talking about something even more important. I'm talking about people wanting to use it.
I guess so.
I'm talking about your guys saying, just do this, and this, and that's your role. Like, take all your appointments and look at your daily plan and say, oh, I got 4 appointments today. Click on the appointments, hit go to, it maps out, shows you all the notes, shows you exactly what the trade and work types are, tells you what the lady's first name is, allows you to voice in notes in English and Spanish. I mean, people will use it. That's what I'm talking about. It working's good. If you're half of a company, you should have an app that works. What I'm saying is that we think people like to use Job Progress in the field. And if your workers don't like to use your app, I don't care how powerful you think it is, garbage in, garbage out. And they're not going to use it, right? And so
I can't let you get away here without talking about this graph. I was pulling it up here a few minutes ago that you put down. I really would like everyone to know you put down some of what people some competitors on there and some of their numbers. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask why and how you came to kind of some of those conclusions, and what it taught you as you kind of looked at the competitors compared to JobProgress.
Sure. I mean, I'll start out with the caveat that, of course, I'm preferential to JobProgress. It's my company. It's my baby. I understand what we put into it, and I understand how people respond to it. Then I went through the 7 criteria, which I believe outside of JobProgress are helpful. I didn't try to make those criteria JobProgress specific. I believe that those 7 criteria are important for whatever software you're choosing in your business. Like, those are really great. People should just read that list. It's a really great list of things to think about before you make a decision. I acted like JobProgress didn't exist in my mind. And I said to myself, what would this company get? What would that, based on my knowledge? And some did better than others. And that's how I came up with the numbers. I came up with the numbers with 1, 2, 3, it was 5 of us, 3 people from JP and 2 from an outside firm. And we kind of like, massage what we felt was a fair representation. And some of our competitors, they do a decent job. But if you look at the list, there are some clear deciding factors where I think that we shine. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to allow people to understand, I believe JobProgress shines in several key areas. And that might not be all the things you're looking for in life, but those are things that we believe you can rely on. So that's it.
Well, one of the things I often tell people about JobProgress that I think is overlooked when you look at your competitors is that you are pulling information, insight, I'd say improvements from more than one industry, which is key. When you're only when you only have one industry, that's good, but you're not going to see what's going on. You're not going to see the trends that are going on at a different half of the country, something that you can take advantage of and implement into your company. Yeah. That to me is just huge when you're talking about comparing one company to the other that I saw there on the graph.
Thanks. Yeah, I didn't have that in our chart, but that is another strength. That I agree with you on that one.
Yeah. It's incredible. And I think what you've done here, man, is you put together a great checklist, not just for JobProgress, but for anybody.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate that. I hope people go out and read it. This blog post number 2 should be a great resource for people, not only as we enter in 2022 with the new year, but just, for a long time to come, because choosing software for your business that's going to be a foundational element of your business that you're going to use day in and day out is a super important decision. It's as important as choosing the supplier you work with, the manufacturer of the product that you're going to represent, right? And so the core technology stack, I would hope that you would give us a shot to prove to you that we care and that we have a product that you can build on and build your business on, And so, and if you're really a contractor out there listening, give us a shot with Contractor CRM. We're happy to show you what we've got and help you build out your system without any money down. Really, it's just your time we ask for.
Well, you guys have put it together right here. That's a great checklist. You need a great CRM if you're going to scale your company. You're not going to do it on the back of a bad CRM, or even worse, having none at all. So I think this is great, David. I think people are going to find a lot of value in the chart, so that they can begin to find the right CRM for their company.
Thank you, Patrick. We really enjoyed this one, and we enjoyed the interview.
Hey, man, I really appreciate it. Thanks for your time, David. Thank you.
Bye now.
Bye now.